ask you, it's like, how did this dummy get a gun? Or he had a gun, and how come y'all didn't see the signs? Like, are y'all not paying attention to your kid? Like the signs are there, and we're kind of like didn't pay attention, you know.
But what if that is the answer, though, Finley? What if it is that dumb? Like, if you look at the strong correlation, when did we start having school shootings? Like Holly even said it. You guys should put late 70s, 80s, and then there was a brief pause, and then you had Columbine. So if you're starting to say, hey, what was the precipitous? Quite literally is the fact that we took mom out of the home, or we took a parent out of the home. What if that is, it's that fucking simple? Because that timelines, if you look, they tend to correlate right there with, and I'm not saying that women need to be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. I'm not Sig or some of the other guys on the app. But hold on, dude. But what if it is something that simple? Like, we just removed a parent, a guiding force, somebody to connect, to teach their kids, and now we're putting it in the hands of 23-year-olds who last week were coking and token and basically getting clout and gangbanged in fucking college. What if it is that simple?
Hey, Brad, may I chime in on that point real quick?
Go ahead. I was asking Finley, but if Finley could respond, and then you could go, Adrian.
Is your thesis that because we potentially took a parent out of the home? We
didn't just take a parent out of the home. We took the majority of parents out of the home, like the overwhelming majority in the country. So what if it is something that simple that we could just put parents back in the home?
I think there's definitely something to that, right? But I think it goes deeper. I think, and again, this is something that even though I'm an anti-hey guy, with particularly school shootings in general, I think it's bigger than that. I think the community, as we used to know it, like, you know, and remember, I'm really younger than you, like, that doesn't exist anymore. Like, we have helicopter parents, and like, but can't nobody else do nothing with your kid, and we can't assist. Like, there's no assist. It's just like the parents, and that's it. Nobody else into my kid.
Yeah,
I think that is
it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes, yes, and a lot of it is paranoia. Like, I was listening to, and I don't want to get too far off base here, Brad, but I was listening to a conversation about, like, kidnappings, right? The traditional stranger kidnaps your kid off the street is about 100 to 200 per year in the country. The majority of them are family members. The majority of it, and 90, I think it's 97% of them are all retiring within, like, you know, a day or two, but it's mostly family members taking their kids, right? Something along those lines. But the paranoia around that has caused people to, like, isolate themselves from, like, their neighbors that live, like, right next door.
All white.
And I think that plays into this because, again, there's sometimes, like, your neighbor can see things that you can't see because you're too busy, or there's sometimes your kids will talk to your neighbors that they won't talk to you about, right? I was one of the few kids that parents talked about sex when he was, right? I was one of the few kids whose parents talked to about sex when I was 7. My friends learned about sex from my parents because their parents would not talk to them and they were afraid to talk to their parents.
They're all white. And they're all of Christian.
Well, hold on. Let Adrian go. Yes, he was polite. He waited until everybody else was done.
He said I could after the last one, but I get it.
Oh, I apologize, Mark.
You'll get
after
to
Adrian.
Nah, let Mark go first, man. Go ahead, man.
All right, then Adrian.
Everybody told us, go ahead.
Yeah, there's something going on here, guy. Can I talk? If I'm up. There's something going on here. All right, there's something it's hard to explain, but there's something going on here with technology, with information at the click of a button, and Christian people children who have information at the click of a button. I'm rambling here.
I'm confused. We have been over this.
Marshall, hold on. Let him just because I want to get to Adrian.
What I'm getting at is, why is it a white Christian person, all the time?
But it's
That
not.
does these
The
shootings.
mass shootings are qualified as 4 or more people wounded.
And Marshall, you feel this.
Well, I was going to say, find out school shootings, not every one of them has been white either. My point is, you seem to want to attach a religion to it, and I can't figure out why there's no gung-ho on attaching Christianity to it. Noting that your argument is because they're Christian now, they are more susceptible to be violent. Despite the fact that, as Holly and several other people have said, this religion has been practiced in the country for 250 years nearly. We're not anywhere near as violent as, say, we were in 1867. We're worlds away from that, right? And Christianity has existed the entire time, right? So if it's existed the entire time, and you only have a couple of spasmodic periods of violence, which lasted, one like 10 years and the other like 40 years, maybe even a little longer than that. I just can't remember the math straight. But other Christian countries don't have this problem, right? Like, why is it so important to attach Christian to white or attach Christian to school shooter when not all of them have been either white or Christian?
Yeah,
Why is that?
People are too lazy to do this, but it saves homeowners.
Hold on, DJ, and hold on, everybody. I want to get Adrian. He asked, you guys are skipping him. I said, I let Mark go. Mark, we're gonna put a pin in this. I'm gonna let Adrian go, and then we're gonna attack this one because this one's. I'm gonna show you where you're fatally flawed, and I'm gonna try to use another hyperbole that we often hear. But please, Adrian.
Yeah, just 2 quick points. What Mark just said. Other Christian countries don't have this issue. That's a lie. Yeah, that is a lie. I'll just give you one example. The Norway shooter. What was his name? Breivik. Killed all of those people. Norway is a Christian-dominated country. Right? So that's where you're wrong there. Something that Brian said about taking the parents out of the home. That literally happened in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, when schools was planting the idea into children's minds. Hey, if your parent hits you, you can call the police, right? If you don't like the way your mom is yelling at you, you can come and tell us. The guidance counselors and the teachers and stuff like that was planting these ideas in kids' heads that, hey, you can be emancipated from your parents if you don't like the way that things are going in your household. What the school was doing, they were usurping the authority of the parent, the state, saying, hey, you can't beat your child. Listen, CPS to your house, you do. So you yell at them, so they want their business because you're CPS is going to take your business. That was a actual real thing that happened in the late 90s. I remember that shit happening in high school. They tried to have talks with us. Are we being approved? Are you allowing peer punishment, restriction, whatever stuff? Just come tell us who your parents are.
This man is our prisoner. A crippled mind. He will answer for his crimes, I promise you, but not him.
If you don't stop me,
You'll strike me down. Have you forgotten me, sir? I am the widow of your liege lord, Eddard Stark. I am the mother of your king.
where's our king
You
now?
know very well. He's got to the courage to accept the surrender.
Gone to the crown, but not to negotiate. He brought that forest beach woman.
How dare you?
Threatening my lady with an act of treason. How can it be treason to kill my son?
I understand your grief, my lord, better than most. I understand it. But in the name of my son, the king in the north, stand down.
They didn't know what was going on.
Your son
Underneath their
returns.
roofs.
I will demand his murderer's head.
They didn't know what was
Wise
going on.
men do not make demands of kings.
Fathers who love their children's do.
And it's
I will
disengaged.
capture his head.
That is
Thank you for fighting on my
majority of
behalf,
the
Lady Stark. I was
You
forced
serve
to
to the
defend the
state.
Take him to the stockade.
You
Find
can't
him with
have
every
it.
chain you can find. Do a real shield.
The kid is learning in
I
school.
must take shot to you.
When
And
you're
back
studying
him.
that shit, you have to affirm them and do that shit. If you don't, you risk getting locked up.
So,
Adrian, do you consider 4 mass shootings in 14 years a lot?
One is a lot.
Okay, so your Norway example seemed like a stretch to me. Like, just because something happens one time doesn't mean that like there's a pattern. And when referencing about what other Christian nations and this issue, he named Norway, which has had 4 mass shootings in 14 years. So it's not a good example, right? Like, I hear you saying one's a lot, I understand, but by comparison to the U.S., that's not a good standard. I don't know why you said Norway. It seems utterly ridiculous. Just because I can tell you does not mean there's a pattern.
See, I have to give you clarity. Because you pop up. Like, if you understand my context, if you were listening closely, I mentioned Norway on the tail end of what Mark said. He said these things don't happen in Christian countries. And he listed Norway as an example.
No, he blamed Christian countries.
He's on the phone.
I was talking to CEO.
Yeah, I'm saying Mark blamed Christian countries. He said that's the problem.
Totally. Well, I mean, if we can,
real quick.
Yeah, it's a fact. It's a fact.
I just wanted to point out that
Hold on a second.
this idea-
Adrian wasn't
Okay, sorry.
done.
Well, I'm done, man. No, go ahead.
Hey, I didn't mean to.
People are anxious. Go ahead.
No. I did not mean to interrupt you, Adrian. If you're not there,
No, you go ahead. It's all good.
So I was just kind of this. So your thesis is that the increase in CPS has caused a decrease in parenting, which has caused an increase in school shootings. Am I restating your thesis?
The usurping of parents' authority is my stance, because that absolutely happened.
So I mean, I disagree, because I don't necessarily think that parents' authority has been usurped. I think that I do think that parents are,
Kennedy is ultimately
my
going the
opinion,
right way,
I'm not a
recognizing
parent,
if we're going
yet, but I think that parents have gotten lazy
this long after Kennedy and Trump are gone.
what's the word?
We better establish
They're
scientific credibility, if you will,
uninvolved,
and that is
but yet they think that they're too involved. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of uninvolved. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to be micromanage those that are here to assist. Again, this idea there's no community, but you're not going to tell me to do with my kid, but I'm not doing anything with my kid. That is my thesis.
Mr. Finley, hold on. Let me respond to. Wait, AJ, you respond to Finley? Because I want to respond to Mark really quickly.
Real quick, 15 seconds. I've spoken with teachers. It's been a lot of teachers on this app that speak out, especially when it comes to mass shootings and things like that happen. And you know what the number one thing that all of those teachers have in common that they say that they love? They say they love helicopter parents. They say that helicopter parents are the best parents in the school, because they're the most engaged, they're the most involved, they're the ones that come to the parent-teacher conferences, the school board meetings, the PTA meetings, all of that stuff, and they don't play about their children. They want to know exactly what their children are learning and see how they're being productive in class and make sure that they're on top of their things, right, in school and at home. So a lot of teachers love helicopter parents. So to have these parents disengaged from their children, it is a problem, and it leads to more things. So there's nothing wrong with being a helicopter parent, with being involved in your child's school life and home life.
I reserve my response. Go ahead, Tom.
I was just going to mention really quickly to Mark, because first of all, I don't know if Mark is being like genuine or is he just trolling, because I'm pretty sure he's researched this when his claim to something like half Hispanic. We already talked about the invade was Hispanic, and like Red Lake was Native American. Appalachian Law was black. Detroit was black. Knoxville was black. Like, I don't understand why, where you're getting all of them were white and Christian, bro. That's why I feel like you're being disingenuous for the sake of being disingenuous.
But majority of them are white.
That wasn't what he said. That wasn't what he said, though. He said that all of them were white and Christian.
Yeah.
When y'all throw the
I hate
Christian
Christian.
on it, that's like it almost sounds like you have to be some religion when you're born in this world. So if you're born in a Christian country, that automatically makes you Christian. I don't believe that at all, bro. You can't, if you're not practicing Christianity, you don't go to church, you don't pray in the name of Jesus, you don't do none of these things, but automatically you're Christian? Like, how is that even logical?
It works that way for Judaism.
Even if an Arab is born in an Arab country, that don't automatically make him a Muslim if he's not practicing Islam. And people who practice Christianity are not going to shoot up shit.
I said something simple, but it is hard to prove, no doubt, that most of these school shootings are of white young kids who are raised as Christians. That's a fact.
Okay, so it's a fact. Okay, wait. Could you cite your citation for that, please? You keep saying it's a fact. What citation do you have to prove
It's hard. First of all, you have to go to their parents, right? Because they're the ones.
But my nigga, how do you know? That's what I want to know. How do you know? You keep saying this. It's a fact. I want to see your citation. So if we were to do proportionalities based on population, I'm sure it would be like, yes, there are more white. Going anywhere? I ain't mad. I ain't calling any names. I'm not doing anything. We're just having a conversation. Relax, drink some whiskey, whatever it is, smoke a doobie. Is that still the lingo today? I don't fucking know.
Early right now. Just get to your point.
Yes, ma'am. So the whole thing, if we based it off of demographics, I'm sure it would correlate on a per capita region. But again, you couldn't even do that because it depends on where you're going to cherry pick. Like Thomas just said, you have multiracial people doing this. You have all sorts of people. So the issue isn't the religion. I get the whole Marilyn Manson effect, but it's not that. Otherwise, guess what?
It's always white.
Hold on, dude.
It's always white.
Chill. No
You
more
know
of that.
Mark, have some
Mark.
discipline, please. Please be quiet. Let him finish.
It is not always white. It's already been listed out for you. I don't know. Maybe I have to spoon feed it, but I'm telling you, they are not always white. They're not always Christian, and they, in fact, go against a lot of the religious teachings and a lot of their manifestos. So if I'm sitting here listening to you, I'm believing with the news media and a racial stereotype. Like, the majority of crimes in this country are committed by guess which race? Black people. I hear that a fucking lot. It's not true. It's not even remotely true. But I hear that a fucking lot. And it's that media narrative. It's that propaganda narrative. So this is part of the problem, Mark, is that you're actually not looking at what's going on in a case by case to actually look at solving the problem. I just said it may be as simple as that adding a parent in the home. I don't think it's Christianity. Christianity doesn't do that. I don't think Islamic, Judaism, Buddhists, or whatever fucking anybody else believes in is that triggering factor. I just don't see it. I don't. You're just give me. It's a white Christian male that was featured on CNN. That's all you have.
Can I say this,
Go
Brad?
ahead, Mrs. Clark.
I went ahead and I posted in the chat the more up-to-date information about mass shootings here in America, who's perpetrating them, so on and so forth, what type of gun they're usually using to do it, all the, just a lot. Now, it does not give the religious breakdown, right? That's where you got me. I would say I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge that, realistically speaking, a lot of these mass shooters we've had have been white male, but that does not mean that we haven't had other. I think we all can acknowledge that.
Of Christian persuasion.
I'm not saying of Christian persuasion because I don't have the information or the facts
You
to back it up. So I'm not going to say that. Now, as I said, I posted the link in the chat. You can read it. You can get more educated about it or see what the graphs and things are saying, right? In this case, I think that it's one of those things that's hard to predict because if I remember correctly, the gentleman that we're talking about is 21 years old, which means he was of legal age to buy weapons. Last time I checked, he did. Brad, correct me if I'm wrong. Did he have anything on file, or was he seeing anybody that would have been able to label him a danger that would have put him on a flag list for whenever he went to purchase that gun? It would have been flagged,
Well,
right?
technically, they were struggling with their identity since 2020. So
was there anything on record to show or to be put on that background check when you run that would have labeled them as inaccessible to a gun? No, right?
No,
I think
nothing has been reported yet. So no,
yeah,
I don't
so
have
he wasn't seeing a doctor while he was struggling with his sexual identity that would have been able to annotate that and submit that. And he went and he did it. There would have been nothing realistically anybody would have been able to do to stop it. That's just the facts of it. It's fucked up. I hate the fact that he went out in a coward's way instead of standing 10 toes down and facing the laws of justice and facing those fucking people. It's fucked up that those children had to go through that, and some of those children had to use themselves as shields to protect other children. It's just one of those type of things. Because the reality is what, when it comes to individuals like this, they're going to find a way to do something one way or another, right? And that's the facts that we're dealing with. All this if, and, shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and what about this, what about that? No, you know how I am, Brad. Deal with the facts of the case. Don't add shit. Talk about it in the context that it is.
Yeah, but the facts is
The context
saying it's just saying it's just one of those things. It's kind of wild, respectfully. And hello, Miss Clark, it's been a while. It's kind of I don't necessarily know I want to accept that, but we're pushing back against this thesis that they're white Christian men. That is definitely not. The evidence does not.
So this is the race on Christian. Wait, because I don't mind doing this. We can believe. Wait, hold on. So why don't we do this? So Thomas actually had a whole list going. I don't know if Thomas can do it or somebody who's got. Because like right now, I'm trying to figure out how to not break this crock pot. I'm now on my third one. So what I'm trying to do is let's see. Can anybody break this down real quick? What is the race of those? And I'm willing to bet it probably is overwhelmingly white. I'm willing to bet it's probably male. Those are two.
Brad, are you about to ask about active shooters and shit, and then like the stats on them?
No. Like, listen to it. We're talking about a school shooter, so let's go ahead and diagnose it. Like let's find it, because maybe it is. Maybe it's as simple as, you know what? Let's fucking remove all the white kids out of the male kids that, you know, I don't know, have like fucking. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. They play fucking.
It's overwhelmingly white. It's overwhelmingly white. Over 90%. Over 90%. Over 90%.
It's not 90%.
It's not.
It's over 90% up
No,
until
it's not.
recently.
It's not.
I gotta do
Up until
I
recently,
don't like
yes.
doing this at all. I just hate when I have to do this, but I have to do this. Please, everyone will get a chance to speak. No need to talk over, and please be courteous of other speakers. If you just joined the room, don't just get up there and try to speak. Understand other people have been waiting to speak in front of you. Also, if you are on stage, you need to cash in your pink ticket to be able to stay and speak. Sorry, and a lot of pink tickets in the audience. Please cash those pink tickets in, and I'll go ahead and go on mute now. I think it was it Miss Clark that wanted to finish her point?
Yes, ma'am.
Or was Weedman? Okay, Miss Clark, finish your point, and then I believe Weedman wanted to.
Throw me the cue too after Weedman.
Okay, so just so that way we can have a quick breakdown. I'm going to move through this quick, right? Location and timing. Most mass shootings are likely to occur in workplaces and school. Weapon. Handguns are the most commonly used weapons in mass shootings at 74%. Rifles are at 32%. Shotguns are at 16%. Perpetrators usually tend to be white at 54%. Perpetrators are overwhelmingly male at 95.3%. The average age of a mass shooter in this country is 34.5 years old. As I said, it does not list if they're normally Republican or Democrat or far right, far left, or anything like that. Mass shootings are most commonly perpetrated with handguns, one being at least handguns, like I said, 73.5% here, and at least one rifle, 32.5%, at least one shotgun, 15%. Most mass shootings involve a single weapon, sitting at 66.67%, and most mass shooter perpetrators are typically males, with solo males being 94.6%, solo female only being 3.8%, male-female pair being 1%, and two males being less than 0.6%. There's the information.
Okay, so we should do. So just real quick, I want to emphasize it. So it's 54% white males. All right, that's probably in alignment with the racial breakdown of the country. Are we all in agreement?
Yeah, it is, Brad. But it's also, it says she's right. 54% whites. It's also 22 to 26% black, and it's 10% Latino.
All right.
Just to add those stats.
You know what? Fine. Then we are all on board. We agree that maybe it's not just the skin characteristics. Oh my God, we might get somewhere. It may not just be the skin characteristics. It may be something a little bit more deeper. All right, go ahead, Finley, or whoever was next.
I believe it was Weedman.
Yeah, Weedman. Go ahead.
Weedman.
Oh, Weedman. I'm sorry.
She broke it down. I mean, she effectively broke down what the statistics are. Jay Waver, essentially the FBI and the CIA does extensive research on this. Actually, one of my concentrations for my bachelor's degree was school and campus security. So what we did is we go back to the 1800s when the first documented attacks on schools actually started to happen. And it gets pretty deep. With that being said, her statistics are right. I would say more in the recent years, we've seen what would be off base of the norm, which was white, middle-aged men from the age of 35 to 45, whether you're talking about schools, active shooters out and about in the world, it's middle-aged white men. That's been typically the 90+% ratio up until I think just the last couple of shootings might offset it a little bit because there were some different, racial ethnicities involved. Nonetheless, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think race is the biggest deal here, right? And I think we can all agree to that. We have kids that are being shot, and what's happening is they're realizing that people within my community, the security and risk management industry, are paying attention, and we're making moves, and now schools and communities are reacting, and so we're able to install different things and try different measures, and we're testing, we're exploring options, right? There's never going to be a picture-perfect situation here unless the truth is we lock the fucking school down. And then even if we do, we have what took place just the other day. I don't know if this is the Minnesota shooting, but is this the one where he shot through the windows? This is because there was like two of them just in the last couple of days. Is this the one where he shot through the windows?
Yes, this is the one where he shot through the windows.
So we get to this point now, which was my biggest worry through all my studies over the last 20 years in college and in this profession, is that we can create great access control, remove bottleneck situations from that access control. We could do a lot, right? What we can never stop is somebody from the outside just shooting fucking in. If somebody's determined to shoot, kill, and harm, they're going to do it. They're going to find a way, whether it's a bomb, a knife, a sword. You look at China, you look at England, you see all types of violent acts in mass, right? And they're not used with firearms. I think just a couple of years ago, some fucker walked into a goddamn mall with a goddamn sword and chopped fucking 33 people up. Now, did most of the people survive? Yes, and I think so. There's a difference there. Nonetheless, race, while it's a topic in the discussion, those of us in this industry are cued in on what's taking place, on the actors, the people that are investigating these things. They're aware of these breakdowns and these statistics based on the information we receive. And I could just say, I don't think that should be the main sticking point in conversation. I think it's divisive. I think it doesn't allow us to get to a solution. And I'm going to pass the mic real quick. Sorry for being so long.
Can I speak, please? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, let you go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mississippi. Mississippi, you can go. I'll go through.
Thank you. I just wanted to know if we brought up mental illness, isolation, bullying. I think when you have that combination, it just adds to the piece of the puzzle. That isolation, especially from their parents. That the parents don't know what's going on.